What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday, where we will be reviewing season 2 of Raised by Wolves, produced by Ridley Scott and creator Andrew. Wait, I don't know his name. Something. Wajah. Some, I forget the name. Some dude that's not Ridley Scott. But anyways, we're here. Hi, everybody. I'm joined by my amazing panelist of amazing women, Jane Theory. How are you, Jane?
Hello, doing great. Happy to be here. How are you guys?
I'm so happy that you are here, Jane. Tell everyone where they can find you before we start.
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
And the links are in the description. Teresa is also here. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to see Jane again. It's been forever. I love chatting with Jane and you. It's a girls' night, I guess.
It's a girls' night. Unfortunately, Script Doctor can't make it tonight because he didn't get to watch the whole show. And George is busy with family stuff, so it's going to be a ladies' night. Ladies' night. But Teresa, tell everyone where they can find you before we get going.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. You can also find me on Twitter, Teresa2_Martin.
Nice. And so just so we're all kind of clear about what's going on tonight. First of all, everybody in the chat, this is a new start time for the show. We're going to be starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. If you're on my time zone, I'm in Central now, so 6. 7 Eastern. We're going to go with the Eastern time. And it's just to make a little adjustment here and there. So it's going to be a little bit of adjustment period, and that's totally fine. But the other thing that I was going to say was that tonight is Oscars night. And I know many people don't give a crap. Do you guys give a crap? Jane, do you?
Not really, not anymore. I mean, there was a time when I did. It seems like their decisions and their choices that they're making are getting so far removed from anything of interest, at least to me, that I just don't care anymore. They're snubbing a lot of the films that I like to actually watch, and I get that they've always been that way, and to a degree, like they find the most random film that they think is so artistic or whatever. Yeah. But it just, I don't know. It seems like their decisions now are more politically motivated than they've even been in the past. I'm just
you can say that again because you know I saw that that post, that news article that dropped by the New York Post that said like Sean Penn said that he's gonna boycott the Oscars if they don't invite Zelensky on. And I'm like, well, I mean, he's a good actor.
Zelensky?
So yeah.
He has a whole war he's trying to fight.
Yeah, it's like
did he even ask?
Like, I know. Like, why would he? Oh my God, these people are so out of touch.
You didn't see that, Jane?
No.
Dude, it was hilarious. Okay, hold on. Let me.
I've ever heard of.
Everybody, this isn't an Oscar stream, but we're going to talk about this for a minute because this is funny. This is funny as hell. And then we'll get into the Raised by Wolves in just a second. But I got to show Jane
award show while your people are dying in other countries. Dude.
Bruh. Stupid, I mean, like so out of touch, dude. Like, okay, check this out. So we got the New York Post here saying Sean Penn calls for the Oscars boycott if Ukraine's Zelensky isn't given a chance to speak. And I said, newsflash, no one's watching the Oscars anyway, bud.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, and I actually did a video recently where I talked about something he said that did make sense, but now it's just
Sean Penn?
Yeah.
What did he say that made sense? That's surprising.
He talks about how men are sort of becoming more feminized in society and stuff like that, which I think it's true. I think society and Hollywood and stuff is promoting that image and getting
Mhm.
away from masculinity and describing it all as toxic just
Mhm.
because it's masculine. That's what he talked about. So he was right on that point, but clearly wrong on this, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. He was right on that part, but definitely wrong on this. And then the other part
Just
that
the
was kind of funny.
audacity.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny because I out of curiosity, I made a poll on Twitter this morning. It's gotten like 564 votes. I said, "Are you watching the Oscars tonight?" Yes, no, no. If Zelensky's not there, and just see results. And we got a no with 91%. 2.8% said no if Zelensky's not there. So some people are listening.
I think the
Uh,
only thing I've even seen that's being promoted is Dune.
Yeah.
Like all the other contenders, I'm not even that familiar with.
dude, there's
Yeah, Kevin J.
one.
Anderson talked about it today, and I like him, so I hope for his sake he gets something. But
Best Picture nominee. There's one that I saw. Which one was the Best Picture nominee? That I saw that was like, I cannot believe they freaking nominated this movie. It was the one with Olivia Colman. God, what is it? Hold on. Best
See if they have
Picture.
a list of them.
oh, gee, yeah. See, it used to be that I knew every single nomination, every actor, every
Really?
Me
thing. Oh,
too.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
yes into it, and especially music awards. I used to be into it. Gee whiz.
Now, the
The
music awards I did like because that involves real talent
Yeah,
to some degree.
Yeah.
the scores and the live performances. But
Yeah.
at this point, I was saying on Twitter, it's Sunday. I've already heard a sermon. I don't want to hear another one, especially from
Right.
people dressed in $1,000,000 dresses. So no, thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it
think
got to the point where if I watched it all, it was because of the dresses. I just wanted to see them dressed up. But now
me
they don't even do
too.
that really
Yeah,
anymore. The girls dress like boys, and it's just like,
And the men
whatever.
dress like women. Like,
yeah,
me and Lorena were talking about, like, we were talking about how what Billy Porter is going to probably be dressed as. He's going to be probably more glammed out than half the women over there.
yeah.
So,
It's like,
I
what's the
mean,
point? There's nothing left.
it's
Yeah, it
just,
used to be. Well, yeah, and I don't have anything against the dresses. I just have against all these millionaires sitting there pulling a sermon and scolding us.
I'm just looking forward to all the memes that we're going to be
Oh yeah.
talking about like tomorrow. That's going to be great. But fuck the Oscars. This is what we're here for tonight. Is going to be a review of the season 2 of Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
Let's get into that because let me just say this.
Something's
I
actually
really,
good.
really enjoyed season 1. I thought season 1 was a breath of fresh air for me because in the sci-fi arena, I feel like it's been a bit of a letdown recently. uh Dune was an exception, but Raised by Wolves came out before Dune. But before that, like, basically like everything's been kind of like utter trash when it comes to sci-fi.
Yeah.
And this was a breath of fresh air, especially with regards to Ridley Scott and the world that he's created, because this is definitely a Ridley Scott world. The androids are very, very Ridley Scott from like the Alien world. They bleed white, that they have all the kind of the same characteristics, the whole idea behind whether the consciousness, like what makes a human, what makes an android, what makes a conscious entity. Those things are all themes of sci-fi that I really, really enjoy. So I really like this show. And the other thing that I feel about it is that it's a show that takes you out of this world. Like, no matter what you want to think about it, whether it's not the greatest show of all time, no. But for me right now, it definitely is an out of this world experience, and it takes you to a much shittier world where it can kind of make you feel good about where you're living right now, even though our world is kind of like clown world, but over there it's kind of fucked up. So it makes you feel better about yourself a little bit. So Jane, what did you think of season 1? Did you like season 1?
I did. I liked the world that was established. I love the characters. Great actors. I have to say the performances are top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing, especially the actors who portray the androids. It's like you
Mhm.
really do forget that these are humans because of how they're able to behave, especially in those scenes where they're trying to pretend to be human. Like,
Mhm.
that is just an amazing dynamic.
Father is my favorite. Like
I
I love Father.
I like him, and I love how he sort of it's developing a kind of humanity
Mhm.
as well, in terms of feelings, and like you spoke about before, it does deal with those questions of what makes you human and and they came back around to that this season, which I loved. Um, I did not like the ending so much, just it threw me off a little bit. But in this season, it got right back on track. And overall, though, this is a fantastic series. If you love sci-fi, this is it. It is the escapism. It knows how to address themes, politics, religion, things like that, but without making it real world,
Yes,
and
making it like
focusing
it's our
entertainment.
world. Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
Exactly.
it's another world. It's another world, and I like that. It's like it's not we're not talking about what's going on this planet. We're talking about a very distant future and a very different
Exactly.
world. And I
Exactly.
really like that too. Teresa, what was your impressions of season 1?
Wild. I watched them both together over the last 3 weeks, and I described it in the green room that I was wondering if I'd accidentally taken some mushrooms or something because I felt like I've been on a 3-week psychedelic experience. It was like
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a
it's a trip,
trip.
but I agree completely with everything that you all were just saying. What you were all were just saying about it's pure sci-fi. It takes you away from the world. It doesn't have these tired kind of obviously relatable to what's going on Earth right now in
Mhm.
2022.
Mhm.
It makes you think. It a lot of metaphysical kind of things. I love the way they use archetypes in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
you have mother, you've got father, you've got soul, you've got all the different things going on. Even Marcus himself, is I guess turning into
Very
something.
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It allows you to
Sue's
think,
great.
though. That's what's so
Yeah.
Mhm.
great about this show is that it gives you the space to come to your own conclusions about things
Mhm.
instead of them hammering you over the head. And as a matter of fact, what you think one day, season, or one episode could change completely with the new information you receive in the next.
Mhm.
And I
Exactly.
love that.
That's
Y
also a thing. And the other thing that with regards to like wokeism, because again, that's
Mhm.
something that a lot of us, and especially in this circle of spheres, like kind of like we're always talking about like, is it woke? Is it not woke? Blah, blah, blah. And I feel like this show is so out of this world that everything works within regards to the casting. Like, so like if you have black, you have white, you have Asian, you have like this, you have that. Everything kind of works because it's not forced down your throat. Like everything just kind of makes sense with regards to the casting. Like Jane was saying, I think they did a fantastic job in casting everybody.
Mhm.
And I think here it would have been very easy for them to go the woke route, especially with respect to leaning into feminism, because you
Mhm.
have such a strong female character, or several very strong female characters, but they don't diminish the males,
Yes.
No.
which is important, and they don't take away from the female characters their femininity, their vulnerability, their complex characters. They're not just sort of one dimensional, and neither are the males. And
Mhm.
that's why it's able to work, I think.
Yeah.
And I agree with that too. And just as another side note, for both seasons, I love, and I mean absolutely love the score,
Oh,
like the music.
I could listen to that all by itself.
Me too, girl. Like the opening song
Oh,
is just
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's freaking just like gets me every time.
Uh-oh.
did you freeze?
I froze. Or she froze. Oh my goodness. She looks like she's singing. She was talking about a song. Yeah, see, Ben Frost is the one who scored it. I am not familiar with that composer.
I love
He's
the music.
yeah. Yeah, she's
She's singing a song.
she's singing to us. Well, come back, Nina, come back. But I really like what you said, Jane, about allowing us to come to our own conclusions. It reminded me of what was in my head as I was watching this is a show that doesn't treat us like we're all in kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's adult, like truly adult.
And they're not trying to lecture you.
Yeah,
It's I mean, there are messages, and I've always said that's fine. I mean, that's a part of storytelling. But they do it in such a way that I could see one thing. I get one thing out of it, and you could watch the very same thing and get something completely different.
yes, exactly.
And that seems to be missing from modern day entertainment. It's like they come in with their singular message, and they want you make sure you get it, and they're gonna hit you over the head with it multiple times throughout the episode, and then tell you again to make sure you got what they were trying to say. And that's
Precisely. Well, and I've taught kindergarten music. That is exactly
repetition.
what I do. Repetition and this, and sometimes I'm even guilty of it when I'm on a live stream. It's like, oh, you've got to say it again. Then you do this, and then you recap. But they're 5 years old. We're all grown ups. So yeah.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to my internet. Decided to like just go away for a second. So
We're
thank
kidnapped
God
by
it's
I
back.
thought it was mine for a minute.
Yeah, the trust or something came through, or whatever. One of those grandmother.
Yeah.
So
Scully made a good point too. He said he can't help but notice the mother and father are made to a gender binary and operate within traditional gender roles. And that's true.
yeah.
I like that aspect of them as
Yeah.
well.
I actually, I know this sounds really weird, but I really like the physique of the mother
Yeah.
lady. I like that she's so flat, and it's like she looks like an android because it looks like someone that like is not being quite
Yes.
sexualized. Like I like that
Mhm.
about the show because it's very like android-like for them to create a female android like that is not so sexualized, because she's supposed to be a weapon. She's not supposed to be like this sexualized creature or
And you know
whatever.
what? That's the problem I have with the new one.
What do you mean?
They went in the exact opposite direction.
You mean with grandmother?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's why I think she's a villain.
Oh,
Well,
she's
I
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
she's
Well, yeah, there's no
complicated.
black and white.
She's
I get her
complicated.
methodology. I get where she's coming from.
Yeah.
The
She has
thing
her own
is, she's
like,
so alien. Like we don't actually know
Yeah.
anything about her still.
Mhm.
You know, like she has motives that we don't quite understand yet.
she's kind of the android that I think people like Nina are scared of.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
She's
Mhm.
absolutely
She's that android.
she is that android. That's that's what happened, and probably like that's what I'm guessing in their world. I think that they rose up against their human creators, and I think that that's one of the
Well,
I think that that's one of the things that's happened, because she like, and they kind of commented about it. I forget which episode it was, but they commented about how like when father and mother had her like kind of like in that little room that was she was
Mhm.
hooked up to the wires and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and she was saying like they were like they said something like, well, we don't know what she was doing or whatever, and then she was saying, well, my program is basically to assure that humanity is like doing well or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, clearly like something didn't work out because everybody's fucking dead. So it almost feels like, oh yeah, like, they kind of went against what we wished or something, and we kind of took them all out or something. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell. Now again, because this is an 8-episode long show, like we're not gonna like kind of like go through every scene and break it down. So we're just kind of like gonna, free flow. We'll go with it. I do have the episodes pulled up, so if you guys want to see certain things, we could just talk about that. But like I'm gonna start by saying that season 2, episode 1 did go in a direction that I did not expect. And I think that the reason it went in this direction is because of the whole Koof situation. I think it had to do with the Koof. I don't think they meant to make it so that these guys found each other so fast, because you get to see, everybody within, I don't know, like the first 10, 15 minutes of the show. It's like all of a sudden everyone is together again. And I expected it that it was going to be, much longer. Like I expected it to be at least 1 or 2 episodes before everybody is kind of reunited. And like when we left, for example, Sue was like bleeding out, like I expected to see like how they kind of got to where they were, because they made it to the base. And then like everybody was fine, but we didn't get to see any of that. So what did you guys think of that aspect?
I didn't mind it at all because I felt they made that decision because they wanted to jump right into what they wanted to show us, and that would have been almost like a bridge between the 2 seasons. And if they'd have done 1 or 2 episodes, for me, I think it would have meant that they would have had to start some of their content episode 3, and then maybe not been able to get it done by season 8.
I totally agree, Teresa, because I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that they did this, because I usually like it that people like you get extra details and stuff like that, or like, oh, they made it from, point A to point B and how they made it. Like, I like that kind of stuff. But when you see stuff like, for example, especially with shortened seasons, like in this case, because season 1 was 10 episodes, this is 8 episodes. So I feel like they did a bit of a, okay, we got to cut some stuff out, and we got to make this like get to the nuts and bolts faster. And so therefore they did it this quickly. What did you think of that, Jane?
It didn't bother me too much. I guess I was thinking maybe there had been a time jump or of some sort. Um, I don't remember exactly my initial thoughts on that, but it didn't bother me. I have no problem with the story moving forward. It seems like they have a lot of story to tell,
Mm-hmm.
and the pacing is really good. So I see it more as a story decision, and it didn't throw me off at all.
It threw me off a little bit at first, but I also expected the other thing I thought too that they would do is I thought they were going to do flashbacks, like
Yeah.
especially in episode
Oh.
1, to be like, oh, like, that's how they got, like, oh, I remember like traveling to here, or I remember what we did to like get to here or whatever.
Mhm.
But they didn't even do that. And it was surprising to me, because usually you get flashbacks, or usually you
Mm-hmm.
get like a whole episode of them showing you what happened and stuff like that. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing either. I like that they went into it, because I think that, like, for example, shows like Marvel is kind of falling into that right now, where they go like, oh, we got to show all this stuff, even though we have a shortened season. And then by the time that they get to the point that they're trying to make, you're like, well, like, who cares? Like, where's your story? Like, what is the actual story here? Like, because these details don't actually matter. Like, what is the story you're trying to tell? So either way, in the first episode, we get to them all being pretty much reunited. Here's Sue. She's fine now. She's still pregnant. So that's the other thing that kind of threw me off, was that much time had not passed yet, because she's
Mhm.
barely showing in this. So it was probably around like 2 months, 3 months, I would say,
Yeah.
that between like the time span. Um, those are the things that kind of threw me off about this, because he's gotten so much older. Meanwhile, she's still like barely pregnant. And I'm like, I don't understand how the time thing works on this thing. She
Mhm.
still looks young though, but Asian girls always look really young. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she didn't seem to advance very far in her pregnancy, but the boys all went through puberty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird like that, because like I feel like Tempest's character should have been like showing a little bit more with regards to how much he was like a freaking sprout, this kid. He's just like shot up, which is not a bad thing. God bless him.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we got that going on. Um, and so they met up. Tempest is still pregnant with her weird rape baby, which I think is
so
kind of really
terrible.
sad story, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. They get to the South. This entire season is basically kind of like based in the southern hemisphere. So you're getting a totally different environment this time than the first season, where you have edible foods. They're not actually looking to survive anymore. There is a base here. You're uniting with other human beings. And they're not Mithraic this time. This is the other side, the atheists this time. And the Mithraic are in complete shambles.
Mhm.
And so you are definitely getting a different taste than what you got in the first season. Look, they have they were all shocked. They're like, what? We have we don't even have to build like the
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
Those things were interesting. Again, I expected a little bit more in regards to where we left off with the atheists in the last season, because the last season, what we saw was that Marcus was basically surrounded by those atheist people, and then he kind of like took them out. And so, I was expecting to see maybe the ship land and, where, more of the ship, like more of the communication, or like how they were going to set up the, what's the word I'm looking for? Colony. But we didn't see any of that.
You feel
Again,
there was an
it just
episode
happened.
missing? Maybe
I
they
feel
just said, "No, we're gonna cut it."
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, I think there was like some stuff that's either filmed or missing, or they deleted it, or they just edited it out. They were like, "Nah, this is not working with the flow," or something like that.
Mm.
I gotta go get my water. Just vamp for a second. Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Vamp. Boom ba boom ba boom ba. Bringing back to my orchestra days. Well, I love the way he's just batshit crazy. I love
I
him.
love him as an actor. This is Ragnar from
Yeah,
Vikings. If
Vikings.
anyone doesn't remember, fantastic actor, and in this show, he's so very different. It really shows his range, and
Yeah.
I love his character. Completely insane.
I thought when he swallowed those eyeballs in season
I know.
one, the fuck?
Like, what in the world?
And then it did things to him, and I don't know. I was just floored. And then what? The mother was able to get him out of his stomach
I
again.
know. But his survival skills are amazing. Like, he can talk his way out of anything.
I know. He's a freaking Man of Steel or something, because he can't die. It's like, he gets beat up, thrown around, and he still survives.
Sorry, I'm back. What were you guys talking about?
This great actor.
Ragnarok. All right, not Ragnarok. Oh my gosh.
Ragnarok.
I'm getting in trouble. Yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. I just totally butchered a famous Viking, and I'm probably in big trouble for it, but that's okay.
Oh my goodness. I thought that this was really funny that he was getting his powers from Mother's eyes, and when she took it out, I was like, oh no, he's so fucked now. What? But somehow he keeps clawing his way back, and I'm like, this character, man, he's great.
He's like Michael Myers. He can't
I know.
stay dead.
Nothing stops this
He's a
dude. I love
survivor.
it. It makes absolutely no sense why he's capable of the things he's capable of. But I really,
He's
I
good at
love it.
persuading people to follow him, to believe him,
Yeah.
to
That's a
support him.
prophet.
I mean,
Yeah, he's a complete radical. And I love the way that it's designed it like that.
Yeah, he
he's-
would be one of those people that would lead a Jim Jones kind of cult.
Yeah.
If he lived
Yes,
in our time.
yes. Okay, let's talk about these two characters for a second. I'm trying to get a good shot of these characters. So Marcus meets while the main group is meeting up again. Marcus comes across So we got a human, this lady here, and an android who is designed by her daughter, like her daughter. We find out later on that she kind of like had a weird what's the word, incident where like she had a like she had a hand in her own daughter's killing, which
Yeah.
was kind of disturbing to say the least. And the daughter android, I felt kind of really bad for her actually. I thought, I don't know, I felt
Yeah.
bad for her. I pitied her. What did you guys think?
Her story in this, yeah, I mean, but that brings up the question we talked about earlier about, do you have feelings? Does she have feelings? Do you have feelings of sadness when a computer is turned off?
Hmm.
I mean, it's a weird
I feel sad when my
situation.
computer dies.
I feel unbridled rage.
Is it because she's so humanoid, and where is that line? Because she's treating her like her child, and the android responds like a human child would, including at the point of betrayal.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that because through her conversations with Campion, we kind of find out that she is developing a consciousness. Whether she had it the whole time or not is debatable.
But his Campion, is that his projection onto her?
No, I don't think so. I think that she clearly showed a separate personality through her answers to him, that she was developing her own personality. And I mean, they kind of like made fun of it because they were like, well, it's kind of like chicken and the egg, right? Like, what came first, her personality program or the fact that she is becoming intelligent enough to understand that that's even a program to begin with, that she is not this person, that this was like the memories were being put into her consciousness, and then her consciousness is based on those memories. But I think she's becoming self-aware in that sense, and self-awareness to me signifies, that you're becoming self-aware, that you're becoming intelligent.
Conscious?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, they had that Star Trek episode in The Next Generation, The Measure of a Man, where they
Mhm.
were discussing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I love this show,
Mhm.
because there's so many different aspects of sci-fi that they're exploring with. Like I said, like what is a human? What is consciousness? Those kind of things is really interesting. And I think her interaction, especially with Campion, is also interesting because, Campion, no matter what, at the end of the day, was raised by androids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has this very soft spot for androids, and he loves them, and he thinks that they're sometimes more capable of being human than humans, because his interactions with humans has been kind of really fucked up because of
Mhm.
Market, Sue, and all the different very flawed humans he's had to deal with.
Yeah.
I think he knows what he can get with regards to how messed up androids are, like Mother. Like he can deal with that. But I think he thinks that humans are a little bit more like a wild card. Like you can't really tell what humans are going to do, whereas
Right.
androids are, they're kind of set by their own programs and their own boundaries and their own, like they really won't pass something, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mother, he knows how to deal with Mother versus Father, because Father is much more caring and loving and
Right.
more down to earth, whereas in Mother is always like on high alert. She's a weapon. She
Mhm.
knows, like, if shit goes down, we got to tell Mother. Like that's the other thing that Campion knows, is that like even when stuff was going down with them, he was like, we got to tell Mother like what's going on. Like his trust is still with her after all
Mhm.
of the things that has happened. He still thinks that she will keep him safe and that she has his best interest at heart.
Mhm.
And
I
I
think
think that
that says a lot about motherhood, the special relationship between a mother and her son, even if the mother is a robot.
yeah, and that's that. See, and that's one of the main themes of this series is the different types of motherhood that goes on in
Yeah.
this. Like, you have the other mother here with Sue. You have her. She's becoming a mother, and you have Sue's struggle of not being able to get pregnant and then adopting. Um, God, what was his name? I was gonna call him Brandon, but that's not his name.
I
Uh,
forgot.
Let's
uh,
go.
what was his name again? Paul. Um, her adopted son Paul, uh, but like she loves him now like a son. Like
Mhm.
there's no getting around that. Like she actually loves him like her own flesh and blood, and she will do anything for him, even pray to Soul,
Mhm.
which was something that, I mean, I half expected she was going to, because, when you get that desperate, no matter what is going on, you get on your knees and you fucking pray, whether you believe or not, because
Mhm.
at some point, when you get desperate enough, I feel like even if you're an atheist, you'll ask for something. Like you're desperate enough to be like anything that's out there. Like if it's
Mhm.
true,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for help. Like, and I don't know if I'll hear it or not, but um now let me ask you guys this. Which one of these characters, whether it's Marcus, Paul, or Campion, who do you guys think is actually the prophet? Like the son?
Yeah. I
What do
definitely
you think?
don't think it's Paul. I think he's going to ultimately be a villain. Uh, and it's certainly not Marcus. But I think he somehow is going to play an important role um, in the rise of Campion.
That's what I think too. I mean, actually, before I tell mine, Teresa, you say
Mhm.
it. What do you think?
Well, I actually am a little bit biased because the names are so distracting to me. You've
Mm.
got Paul, you've got Campion, we have Saint Campion, Saint Paul, and Marcus, Saint Marcus, the Roman, who crucified Christ. It's
It's all very intentional.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm leaning toward Paul for that very reason. Campion was a Jesuit English martyr, but he was also a leader of like small undercover people. When they were being persecuted, uh, when the Catholic Church was being persecuted. So in England, I honestly don't know if they're that on the nose, but I just couldn't help but make that connection. And Campion's doomed to die. So,
Oh,
well, the reason why I say that is Saint Campion was martyred in a very painful way, and Paul, actually all three of them were martyred. Yeah, Saint Paul was beheaded, but I just can't help but think it's Paul for that reason. He's the one who got that vision of light and all that. But maybe they're not doing a one-to-one allegory. It could just be my bias.
I think they flipped it. That's what I
I think
thought
they
the
flipped
same
it
way
too.
you do, but I thought that for this story, I thought that they would flip it.
I think they did a bit of a flipperoo as well. I think Campion is the one. And the only reason I say that is because I think that the show is about him. I think he's the protagonist. I think that he's the one, like Raised by Wolves is with regards to him, his character, what he's going to do, what he's going to achieve. I think that this whole story, if they do the 5 seasons, because I believe that the intention was to have 5 seasons, that by the end of it, that he's going to become this whatever he is. But I think that like in the first season, I really did think that they were trying to make Paul a red herring, but
Mhm.
he still believes that he might be the one too.
That's the thing.
So,
Well, and wouldn't it be wild if it turned out to be one of the androids? Because,
or the little
prophet.
Asian girl, because I didn't even think about this. I mean, it could be the little Asian
Someone
girl. They're
else,
all orphans now.
someone said the new baby too.
Oh, mhm.
Yeah, but the new baby has a mom.
Oh, that is true.
Like it
Well,
has to be an orphan.
right now, the baby has a mom. If she
Yeah,
dies,
right
it'll
now.
be an it'll be an orphan. Yeah,
That's
season
true.
3.
That's
Season
true.
3 starts. She gets hit by a rock or another flying serpent.
Oh, look at that. Here's another one. The serpent is the one.
Mhm.
But no, the serpent has
Serpent's
parents.
dead. And he's dead, or is he?
He's not dead. No way. The serpent?
Did I miss something? I thought the serpent oh frack. Did I
They're
miss
not
something?
gonna kill the serpent.
Oh.
Not yet. I think he's still alive.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. What do you think, Jane? You think he's still alive?
No.
You think he dead? You think he dead already?
I think that was an important part of Mother's story. Yeah, I think that sacrifice had to happen to save the other children.
Yeah. And they had to save the
That's
budget
interesting.
because if
And
they
to
kept them
save the
around,
budget. You know what? You know what? You know what? You might be right because I'm just saying that not because of the story. I'm saying it because of the budget. You might be right out of that. Yeah, something
You're
comes
right.
out of the
Yeah.
serpent. So I was thinking, like, I don't know, maybe it laid eggs before it died.
Because something
I don't
came out
know.
of her too.
Oh, jeez.
So you never know.
I don't know.
But I
I
think it's
feel.
dead. I think that was the intent.
You think it's dead? It's too soon. They shouldn't have killed it too fast.
That was the whole point of the veil.
I know, but still.
Oh yeah, that was creepy as F. My gosh.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's talk about this other thing though for a second. What the frig? And wait, what episode was this? But what the hell was that whole thing with Tempest? Because
What do you mean?
she was preggers. I forget which episode. Which episode was that she gave birth? Was it
The
3?
serpent? Oh no, the chick. Never mind. I think it was around episode 6, episode 7. It wasn't at the end.
No, it was like episode 5 or 6. I forget which episode it was. But when she gave birth, I totally didn't get that part. I was like, what the hell is going on? Because all of a sudden she was like,
Lagoon.
well, all of a sudden she was like, I'm going for a walk. And I was like, what? Like, because she was
have the baby.
Yeah, but she was like in labor and then she decides to take off. And I was like, what is she doing?
She was going to abandon it.
Is that what you think was happening?
That was exactly what she was about to do.
Well, but she seemed like she was messed up when the creature from the Blue Lagoon took him.
That was the turning point. When it was taken from her and put in danger in her eyes, that's when her motherly instincts kicked in. See, her whole thing was getting rid of the child. She didn't want it, didn't want to raise it, for reasons. But when it was put in danger, then she just, it's her baby ultimately.
Yeah, she did not want that baby. Like,
well, no, I mean, it was
the entire time she was fighting having this baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it, like, I really did think though that she was gonna what Mother was saying, like, you're gonna have the baby and then you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of you, because usually that's what happens. Like, motherly instincts kick in and you're like, no matter what, I'm gonna love this baby. But I really I thought that she wouldn't. I don't know. It's just it's really tough to just walk away from like everybody and go on these cliffs and be like, I'm just gonna give birth right here. Like,
but she wasn't thinking clearly. I mean, she thought she would have the child and then either leave it or throw it over. But
man, I'm trying to find that scene.
Well, I'll tell you what totally grossed me out in that scene. I think you know what I'm talking about.
When she was giving birth, I was like,
well, after she gave birth and she had a little snack, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's dude. I was like, bruh, like, I can't believe they're showing this shit. Like, this is gross.
Yeah.
But that was messed up. Here's the baby. She like literally gave birth like on TV, and I was like, damn. I mean, she's hardcore, but
on rocks.
Yeah, like on rocks. She like bent over. She like gave birth. It was like a whole thing. And then
Yep,
all of
there
a
it is.
sudden, this freaking thing comes out of nowhere.
Seaweed
And it's
monster.
like,
Well, it had lost its baby, remember?
oh yeah, it did lose its baby.
And it heard it crying and he wanted it. So, or she wanted it.
She wanted this baby. She was like, give me that shit. Look at this scene. This is creepy, man. Took her baby, like,
Yeah,
right.
it's messed up.
Dude, my face, like, I was like, brah, like, no. I mean, look at this, though. That's pretty good acting. She was great.
Oh, she was
Mhm.
great.
It was raw, this whole scene. Oh man.
It was. I
Man,
thought, I did
that
think for a
image.
second. Yeah. I mean, I did think for a second, though, that when she put it in her stomach, I was like, wait, did she just eat it? Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I thought it ate it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And I was like,
It's
what?
like a kangaroo pouch, I guess.
I think they all thought that because they were cutting them open when they were looking for the monster with the baby. They
With the
thought it had
baby.
swallowed it.
And then, of course, you know, he comes through. Do you guys think he's having feelings for her?
I don't think so.
No, not yet. I think they're all traumatized. Too traumatized for love right now.
I felt like he was kind of getting feelings for her. And like, because she there was a few scenes where she was commenting about, like, you know, that she's gonna have to raise the baby alone and like all this stuff. And he was kind of like, well, not necessarily, you know, and like it almost seemed like he wanted to step up and act like the fatherly role. And in the end, he kind of did. So I felt like I don't know if that was intentional or like if it's because of like his feelings for her, or it's because he still has a loyalty to Soul, and like, you know, in their religion, they don't want to, like, you know, have a freaking monster raise a baby. Like, that's messed up. Like, you know, they still have morals.
I think he's just I think he was just being brotherly. And
You think it's a brotherly thing? I thought it was more than brotherly, but I don't know.
I didn't
couldn't
get those vibes. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not the case, but personally, I felt like they've been more as like siblings, as James said.
Interesting, because I got a little bit more spicy vibes and sibling vibes. I really like his character, though. He's getting a lot of development, I think. Also,
that's the thing, real quick, I like about this show too, is that it does take the time to develop each of the characters. It feels like in a lot of other shows they just rush right through it. You never know who anyone is. And with him and his interactions with different people, even though he's not a major character, you really get a sense of who he is and his integrity, and his stepping up like that is believable.
Yeah, and he's the one that basically rescued the baby, because she was all like, fuck it, like, I'm gonna leave this baby to this weirdo alien thing, like, you know, like, oh, it's got a mom now, so let's just go.
And
And
Father
I'm
was
like,
well, it's her choice. He's like,
dude,
no.
I was like, how are you freaking gonna look at your baby being like, you know, taken care of by this freaking monster and be like, yeah, let's just go, man, it's fine, like, she's got a mom now, like, she's about okay. And there's the monster breastfeeding this baby. I mean, some of the stuff was like really next level shit. I love it.
This show is crazy.
This show is so crazy, man. This is what I'm talking about. It's so out of this world. I did not think about COVID once watching the show, you know? Like, I did not think about Ukraine once while I was watching the show. I was like, okay, like, there's a fucking baby sucking on some weird teat of some weird creature.
Yes.
That's what I'm watching here. And then, you know, this dude, you know, he's like, let's get the baby, get the baby, let's go. And she's like, nah, you know, I think we're just gonna get the fuck out of here, man. Like, it's okay. It's got a mom now. Should be fine. And he's like, no, bro. Like shot the thing like right in the head. And was like, nah, like, we're not leaving this baby here, okay? We're taking the baby with us. And so, like, decided for her and was like, no. You know what? I thought that was a very interesting masculine thing.
Mm-hmm.
because that's one of the things that I agree with you that like this show is not making the men weaker. Like in this case, for example, where
Right.
the man was stronger than the woman, like emotionally, and was like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, man, we're not leaving this baby here. I don't care. We're taking the baby with us,"
Exactly.
and did what he had to do to get the baby back. Yeah, somehow the baby's acid proof. I did think about that too.
Well, I think
Um,
maybe that I was thinking that the animal or whatever that being is can control it. Like it
you
has
think
control of its
so?
excretions or
Oh.
whatever.
That
Yeah, like
could be.
nature. Life finds a way.
Yeah, that could be because when he was attacking the mom, she burned
Mm-hmm.
when he was like trying to get the baby, but like the baby didn't burn. So I'm guessing like maybe it knows, but then again, maybe it's plot armor.
Hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure that out
If
either.
it's a
Like I did
defense mechanism, though, I mean, that's what I was thinking anyway. It has a way of controlling itself.
maybe the baby is also protected by soul. I know that sounds really weird, but like because it is kind of like Soul's baby in a way. Like it worked through
Oosh!
that other thing. You okay, Jane?
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say.
theory, what he just said.
Oh, because the baby was created through Soul going into that other dude and getting him to rape women to
Ooh.
make this baby. And that's the thing with Soul too, because he planted several seeds. Like the snake was one, but this baby is another one. And I think there was another one that he did too. Which other baby did he seed? It
Oh
was
hell.
Paul. Because like he's working on Paul too.
Mm.
Paul and Sue, right? So I think that uh that's something. Boosh says amniotic fluid is acid
Well,
proof. Hey,
before that, he mentioned the acid creatures are other devolved humans, which, if we look at what grandmother's doing, that could be what's happening.
that's true too, because that's the other thing that we did see. We did see in the other episode, and let me try and find that scene where Marcus finally goes down that freaking weird
Yeah,
hole.
I forgot about that.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
we see one of those creatures. And he like, he when he took that clip thing from him, and the second he wakes up, he de-evolves into that other thing. So I think that there's something going on this planet where those things can't remain intelligent anymore for whatever reason, which like
Mm,
I think obviously it's something that grandmother's
Yeah.
race has done to make these things go backwards or whatever. Like they're no longer able to be bright, intelligent creatures. They're just animals now. Okay, here we go. This scene here, which by the way, is something else again that I predicted during the first season. I mean, I figured that this was going to be a huge thing, like a huge plot point with regards to the one they found in the desert. So I figured that they were going to return to that, and I figured that when they like went inside that thing, that that it's going to be housing the signal that is soul. That's what I predicted last season, because I thought that it was interesting that A, they couldn't get into it, and B, that it was there to begin with. It was just so like random and alien and clearly from the previous culture or something. So I thought that's where the soul signal was coming from. And so they finally find it, and but they find another one, and this one's broken. It's unlike the other one, but there's a hole inside, and then Marcus and his believers are there, and then Marcus finds out because he's interacted with the other one. He realizes he can like reach inside that hole to activate this thing, and he goes down the rabbit hole where he finds creature here. Where is the creature? I did expect a little bit more though. What about you guys? Like I was a little bit disappointed with how much what we got inside the hole. Like I was like, I wanted a little bit more in this. What about you
Um,
guys?
I wasn't disappointed. Is probably the wrong word for it for me, because by this point I was well into that psychedelic moment, and I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's another piece of the puzzle. I think by this point I was getting used to the way that they're telling the story, and I knew that there wouldn't be an answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I expected there to be like a temple or something,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
but then he started crawling through the bones, which was like pretty interesting. Like I thought, like I was like, ooh, this is creepy, right? Like I was like, okay, he's gonna end up somewhere that's gonna be pretty freaking cool because he's like crawling through these bones, and it's like really like, really creepy, and it just felt a lot more creepy. So I
It
was
was
like, okay, like let's see
weird.
what happens. And then all of a sudden he gets to that thing, um, and it just turns out to be this like kind of like this creature. I expected a little bit more of the inside of this place though. Like I was like,
See,
oh, this.
whenever they do this thing where you're crawling through a tunnel and there are
Mhm.
bones everywhere of other humans, I'm wondering how they got there. Like, were they just
Mm-hmm.
dying there, or was the thing killing people and putting the bones there?
Yeah.
Like, what? How did they get there?
That's what I'm like wondering too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like I was a little bit disappointed by their explanation of what was going on
Yeah.
inside that place. Like I wanted a little bit more. Like what did they get trapped in because it was voluntarily trapped in, like kind of like something's happening on the surface and it's like, oh, let's go below the earth and trap ourselves inside, and then like what's going on? Is that something we're going to even revisit in season 3? I think we might,
We
because
better.
I mean, because of, well, we know that there's different ones, right? Like, so there's this one, and this one's clearly broken, but the other one is intact. I still think that the the signal is probably coming from that place,
Yeah.
because that's also where he picked up Soul the first time.
Mhm.
Like the first time he heard Soul's voice was there. So this is the scene where he gets to this thing. This is the creature there. And this was really interesting and also kind of again weird, because this creature takes the relic of Marcus that he took from that other chick. I forget what her name was, but he got the Romulus tooth. And so the Romulus tooth, like this thing wakes up, takes in that thing, like, or it takes in that thing and then wakes up because of that thing that it like kind of took in. Like, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, there it is. There's a tooth. So like it woke up, that thing went in, like it like dissipated, went inside him, and then he literally turned into like one of those creatures,
Yeah.
and then he killed him. And I was like, what?
That was crazy.
Like I was confused. I was like, wait, so these creatures can come back to life at a whim? Like that's kind of really weird too, because I mean, I'm sure they've been kind of like, I mean, it's been millennia, right? Like since this incident has
Were they,
happened on their planet.
yeah,
God
in a
knows how long they've
stasis
been
of
there.
some kind?
Yeah, I don't know.
I-
Darius, thank you so much for the super sticker of the popcorn. Glad you're getting entertained. Yeah, this was weird, man. I was like, what is this? But clearly this thing was somebody, because it had that chip on him,
Yeah.
with the tree thing. So that's where he got it from. Meanwhile,
Ooh.
while he's down there though, some other shit's been going down. And what's been going down was pretty freaking terrifying, but also really fucking cool. Because this little android thing went insane and started killing everybody. And to be completely honest with you, I think they all kind of deserved it.
Well, yeah. They attacked her
mean,
first.
Especially the mom. Like, bitch, you cut up her face. Like,
Yeah. Turned her into Jason Voorhees. She had to wear that mask.
Like, dude, that was messed up. When she started cutting her face, I was like, even if you hate her, like, because she didn't do anything to her, all of a sudden, like, that chick turned
And I
and she was
wondered
like,
Yeah,
go
there we
ahead.
go.
I wondered if she had pain receptors of some kind.
Ooh, I hope not.
Ooh, I didn't even think
That'd
about
be
that, but
horrible.
it seemed like she did though. Like it was like, well, I don't know, but she is so human. I don't know. Maybe she didn't. Yeah, she stabbed her daughter's neck. What a
Ugh,
crazy
man.
psycho bitch. Um, it was hiding from the change. Are you
Hmm.
talking about the other dude? Um, Yeah, but, like, I just thought that this whole scene again was so, this was powerful because when she murdered her own daughter and then cut off her face because she didn't wanna see her anymore, and she was like, "You're not her, you're not her." And that was kind of like what she was even having a discussion with regard with Campion anyway, like, "Are you the daughter? Are you not the daughter?" Campion was basically telling her, "You're not the daughter, like, you know that, right? Like, you are a different entity. You're just kind of like have like her memories and what she looks like, but that's not who you are. Like you're the sum of all your experiences kind of thing." Um and like, this entity, I don't even know what we should call it, but this thing decided to kill everybody. So now it's a monster. I don't know. And so like when she showed up and she was telling, that uh when she was telling Tempest and them like where the baby was,
Yeah.
I wasn't trusting her ass anymore because I was like, man, this bitch is a murderer. Because the other chick was like, dude, this chick has murdered everybody. Like, like I don't know if we should follow her. So
Well,
I was
the
kind of
fact
like,
that the androids can turn, and because they're robots, they're more deadly, if you will, than humans when they go insane.
But she was very intentional.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like she wasn't provoked.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
okay, so Angelique is saying the real died at her mother's hands. Yes, that's true. But you were talking about the stuff the tooth rang with. It happened to the whole planet. Yeah, that's what we think too. Why? That's what I think. I think that whole happened to the planet, and then the man in the cave was escaping from it. Yeah, but like, was he escaping from it, or was he there to begin with? Because why was he the only one that's left? Because there's so many bones everywhere. He just went to sleep. Yeah, but like, why was he the only one that was left? I feel like it would be it is Ridley Scott. Yeah, I know. Ridley Scott sometimes goes like he does things that you're like, what? Um, but I guess I don't know. That's something for like next season to possibly think about. Yeah, I mean, it does have a lot of the Prometheus themes.
Prometheus.
Um, but yeah, so like, so what did you guys think? Like, were you trusting this human killer when she was like, the baby is over there. I heard it. Let's all go, humans. Let's like come with me and I'll show you. And I was like, oh no.
I did, just because I felt like the violence that we saw from her in before was a fit of anger. It was, she was out of control, but it was also retaliation of sorts.
Hmm.
And this particular family had not done anything to her. It's Campion's family. She respects them and wanted to join them and be a part of that. So in order to prove herself, she understands the concept of that. And that's what she was trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. Is she doesn't really have deceit or guile in her. She's very straightforward. If I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. If I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, but that was the argument too, because the other person, like, I don't remember who was there, was like androids lie, and I was like, that's true, they do lie. Like, mother lies all the time.
Well, she
You know,
lies from a certain point of view.
Right?
father doesn't lie as much, but mother lies a lot. Actually, father lies too. Like they lie a lot, especially in the first season. It was all lies, like
Yeah,
to
the
the
first
kids.
season. To
Like it
keep
was,
them safe. That's
yeah,
what they
to keep
always
them
said.
safe. Yeah.
Well, you see, but they're programmed to have one purpose, and that's to protect their children.
Yeah.
So those two
Mm.
particular droids, that would be the case.
Darius, this is a funny comment. Says, I'm listening with my eyes closed, imagining what you're describing. It's hella weird. Alien monsters suckling babies, body snatchers, graping snakes, biblical allegory androids. Man, it is all of this and
Yes.
more.
All in more. Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to the tree yet.
Go for it.
The tree of
Um,
life or the tree of knowledge? I can't remember which one.
The tree of life, the tree of knowledge, the tree of death, the tree of everything. Like, god damn,
The
that was messed up.
crucifix. Yeah.
The
That
crucifix. Yeah, there's several crucifixes because, like, you know how mother flies is also a
Yeah.
crucifix. And then there was, of course,
Yes.
the final scene of the season was also very in that thing. But I think that Darius, if you're interested in weird sci-fi, you'll like it.
Yes.
You'll like it. This is just, I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to actually witness it. And I think that this is one of a kind. I really like, I would be sorely disappointed if this show gets canceled.
Yeah.
I don't think that HBO's not in the habit of canceling shows. They're not like Netflix. And I know that Ridley Scott and the director of the show, well, not director, but the creator of the show, did say that they wanted a 5-season show. But unfortunately, they haven't been renewed just yet. The other guy's name, by the way, is, I keep forgetting his name. I'm like looking it up right now. But I think he's doing a good job. I wish there was because in the first season, the first 2 episodes was directed by Ridley Scott, and I wished he had at least directed 1 or 2 episodes of this season, but he hadn't directed any of them. And I think that, I mean, that's why I think the first 2 episodes of Raised by Wolves is what captured me so much, because Ridley Scott's vision was like quite there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This one is Aaron Guzanowski. That's what his name is. Or Guzikowski.
He's
Well
good.
said.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good showrunner. He's no let's just say he's no D&D, you know. This
No.
is a very what's called this is a complicated show, but it's a very original show. So you don't have, like, it's not based on a book, like, so that's like unfinished or something like that, you know. You are going to get an ending with this, and I think that Ridley Scott is good at creating, like, you know, the story and have an ending. I think they already know what they want to do.
Yeah, I think so too. They have this one written out.
I think so too. Let me just quickly check just to see, just in case they're like, oh, by the way, season 3 is renewed now.
Now, what does scare me, off topic a little bit, is from the show on Epix that was made by the creators of Lost, and I don't know how that's gonna end.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not.
Oh, I haven't seen that at all.
It's really good, but it's
Oh
like,
no,
it's like, oh god.
that's worrying. Yeah, that's one of the things that I remember because people were like telling me to watch Raised by Wolves. Like, a lot of people told me to watch Raised by Wolves, like a couple of years ago when it first came out, and I was like, I don't watch. Like, Jane, you know me. I was like, I don't watch shows that just started, especially sci-fi,
Yeah.
because I cannot have shows get canceled on me. I get really upset, especially like when you told me that freaking Archive 81 got canceled. I was literally screaming. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because that was a good show. But then again, I always half know that going in when you're talking about Netflix shows.
Yeah.
But HBO is usually not in the habit of canceling shows. So Let's see.
Well,
Hold on.
you're right. They tend to get really good quality shows, quality actors, and they're able to
Mhm.
maintain their shows for a good long time. So hopefully that'll be the case here.
Yeah, as long as they
Yeah.
stay away from Benioff and Weiss, so they'll they'll be able to keep
Yeah.
that record.
Exactly. Yeah. So far, it has not been renewed yet, but that doesn't mean it won't be.
All depends on the writers. Hopefully this writer won't be offered a Star Wars movie.
Oh,
Oh
Star Wars
my
trilogy that
God.
never happened.
Can you imagine? Or like a Game of Thrones? Like, can you come help us out with
Yeah.
some GOT? Like,
I've got 500 prequels I'm making right now, everyone. Don't worry. I'll still be making my books when I'm 105.
I liked Archive 81.
I love how it started.
I couldn't get into it.
I started. I liked it a lot. Again, it was different. I liked different things.
Yeah, it wasn't a reboot.
Exactly.
That's true. I can give it that.
I like originality. Like at this point, I like no reboots, just original shit, like original content that's actually like, something that's not woke and takes me out of this world. I'm like, giddy up.
No.
But yeah, so okay, let's talk about the tree. Because we talked about this. I still think that the soul I think Soul is definitely an AI, much like Grandmother, maybe even bigger than Grandmother. Like I think like it might be like the AI that Grandmother came from. Like it's like the main AI of the planet. I think it might be housed in underground with that other thing, or possibly even another location. Okay, wait. Actually, before we go to the tree, what did you guys think of the society that the not Mithrig, the what's the other group's called? Atheists. The atheists had made. What did you guys think of that? Like that the AI that they had, and like, what was going on over there?
Well, I thought it was a cool idea. I guess that they took their little instructions that they still needed to have an outside source, even though they were atheists. That I loved it because it was thought provoking. That's like, okay, they may not necessarily be believing in a deity, but they're believing in taking their orders from an AI. Or so, I thought that was fun. That was a fun little point that they were making that made me think.
Yeah. And Jane, what about you?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I always love how they different societies are portrayed in post-apocalyptic worlds. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was neat.
I thought it was neat too, but I also thought that it was also a fucking nightmare, because I was
Okay.
like, because it was so totalitarian. Like I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is wild, because now you have an AI that's running the show. You have you have the AI literally like basically making certain decisions that are not good for humans to make. You have the AI being extremely cruel, because like for example, like when it was getting father to take out the what's it called, the Mithraic prisoners, to hunt down the snake, like using them basically as like human sacrifices.
Yeah, that
Well,
was messed up.
but I feel like it was operating like a king. It's a kingdom essentially. It's just that it's an AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny because it was an AI. Like it was it's
I'm
not a
just-
human making these things, it's an AI.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what many of us are experiencing right now with some of the technical companies right now? And
Yeah.
and it's like you cannot appeal this decision when they say that. It's like, huh. Okay.
Teresa, that's great. Yeah, it's very
The
Mama
machine has made its
Susan.
decision.
Quinn the Q, thank you for the super sticker of a pair, giving a thumbs up. Thank you kindly. But yeah, like I'm trying to figure out where like the scene where the they show the computer so we can show the audience. But like the other thing that was funny about it to me was that it was brainwashing humans to do its thing, to do its dirty work. That was that was the other interesting part, because like the main guy that was like basically running the colony was brainwashed. He was completely brainwashed, and kept being brainwashed by the AI over and over again to do its bidding. And that's like something that, like, Mother told that guy when she captured him. She was like, "Oh no, like this thing has done a number on you." Because humans can also be rewritten over and over, because we are very similar to machines. Um,
Right
and
back into that
some
thing.
would argue that we are machines.
We just don't know it.
Well, I mean, our human bodies are very, very similar to machines, because, like, once, it's like a car. Once one thing breaks down, everything breaks down.
Mhm.
It's one thing after another, especially after you get to a certain age. This is the guy that got brainwashed. I just like saw a picture of him, so I just want to show everybody. So this is the brainwashed guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that it was interesting also that they had video games.
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious. And like they had like Mother as like the main video game chick. Like I was like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious." And the little girl kept wanting to play. The tasks was interesting. It was very AI efficient. Like this is what an AI society would be like.
Maybe
Where
that's
like
what they
it's
liked about it, is that it was efficient.
it was so efficient. It was very AI. I knew you would love it, Jane.
Yes.
I knew
Yes,
you would love it, Jane. I'm like, this is
Orderly.
AI
yes,
Everybody
keep
knows
the
their
trains
job.
running on time.
this is definitely a society Jane would enjoy. I was laughing at that. Girl, when grandmother like started talking too, I was like, that sounds like Jane. I freaked out.
No.
I was like, oh my God, grandmother sounds like Jane. We're all fucking doomed. Why can't I find one picture right now of the freaking AI dude? Where are you? Trying to find the picture of him, but I can't.
Well, this is
The
all a simulation, possibly.
Wasn't he in like the first episode? I thought he was in the first episode, but I guess he wasn't in the first episode. Where are you, AI guy? Oh God, I just saw that scene where Paul was being eaten by the tree.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah,
Or
that
not,
was
no, not by the tree, sorry, by the
thing.
The little bead.
okay,
Whatever.
the mouse. See? Okay, here we go. That's the other part of the AI that was completely cruel and unusual. Was so desperate to get to the Mithraic, it used Paul to plant a basically like a chemical bomb inside the mouse that he loved, so that it can go and kill all the Mithraic, like his father, like adoptive father Marcus, and all of his followers, because it thought that Paul would basically sell out his own family, which in a way, did you guys think Paul would do it? I didn't think he would, but it was weird to me that he still liked the father more than Sue, until like he said basically the reason I don't like Sue is because she's not a believer, because Paul is so brainwashed. Like he's such a religious.
But he had an encounter.
Yeah.
He did.
So that's what makes him believe.
He's such a believer though. He's like so radical about his ideas.
Yeah.
Very zealous, like his namesake.
He is a zealot, yeah.
Do you think that's gonna change because of what happened to his mom? Well, Sue.
Becoming a tree.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
and this, because now he's realized that he was used to also try and kill his dad, and he also almost died because of it. So, he's had several experiences now where, Soul is turning out to be a fucking asshole. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think that we need to see a little bit more with him, maybe in season 3. I think that he's very, I don't know, conflicted, or maybe as fucked up as we are watching this.
Yeah.
I
Wait, I
don't
made a
know
mistake.
what
I made a
believe
mistake
anymore.
because the mouse thing was all the AI. It wasn't Soul. That was the AI. But okay, hold on. Let's go to the tree because I can't find the stupid AI for some reason. Man, that tree scene though. I mean, I kind of saw it coming. Did you guys see it coming? Because I kind of did.
I did not.
Not that.
I didn't see the thing become opened by that thing, like by the fact of her singing it. Like I didn't
Mhm.
see that. But when she like took it and it went into her hand, I was like, she's fucked. Bye, Sue. Like when she picked up the seed and it went to her hand and she started digging the ground, I was like, bye, Sue. You're gone.
Yeah, time to die.
So this is what happened with that. Let me see. I'm on that scene right now.
So I think Nitram thinks it's real. So you think it's a supernatural entity?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think it's AI. Or it could be those creatures, like it could be like the ultimate one of those creatures, like the only surviving one, like the past race.
Mm.
I don't understand why this thing would even open. This is one of the things that I didn't understand. I don't understand why this thing would even open to her singing the song. I'm pretty sure she was singing a song about soul. But at the same time, it's like when grandmother first spoke to what's his name, to father, when he created her, and then she started to like talk to him like in that other building. She was like, why are you talking in this language? And he was like, it's like the only one I know. So I don't really understand how this thing would be programmed to open with that song, because this is like generations later. And another song, do you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand this part. In fact, the whole time, okay, do you guys see this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this like egg thing that has a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I thought the whole time, I thought that was a thumbprint. I was like, that clearly looks like a thumbprint. Why isn't anybody putting their thumb on it and like just pushing it or something? Like, I'm like, why isn't anybody doing this? I thought it was kind of like a Rubik's Cube where you like put your thumb on each end or something, and then you like do some sort of something and it'll open. But like nobody was doing that. And then they started like shooting at it with like the fucking laser for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, that's not gonna open it. It's gonna be some stupid thing. Like you got to put your thumb on it. And then it was this whole thing with the song. I was like, this is dumb. Like, how is this even possible? Like,
Use
I
sound
don't.
waves.
Do you think that that's how simple it was? It was just like the sound waves. Like it didn't matter what the song would be. Like it's not the message of the song. It's just like the waves. Is that what you think?
Maybe.
Possibly. I like the way that it's ambiguous. We can interpret it either way.
It's
I don't know.
nanobots.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Some of the comments are funny. I think it's like giving guns to chimpanzees. That's true. Yeah, it's just some of the stuff was really funny. I really did think this was the key though. I was like, come on, it's a thumbprint. Why isn't anybody pressing it? And then she was like, I'm just gonna sing the song. It's a lullaby. There's a seed in here. All right.
I mean, the song could have the melody of the song could be ancient.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. I think that's what it was, because that's one of the things we've realized throughout the show, is that there is definitely an ancient Mithraic, or not Mithraic, ancient, ancient Mithraic and ancient atheist technology or whatever, because the ancient Mithraic had the tooth, for example, right? Like
Mhm.
and we know that Mother is designed ancient Mithraic technology. Like
It's
all
like
these things
it's like a
are ancient Mithraic.
prehistory that they don't remember anymore. It reminds me a little bit of the work some people are doing on language and trying to discover the earliest human language by looking at what all human languages have in common
Mm-hmm.
the world
Mhm.
over. And they're finding words and things that have just somehow been passed down over all of this time in all of these different places on every continent that are united as part of some language we don't know anymore.
I think you're totally like that, bang on. I think that they're doing a lot of related things like that, Jane. With those kind of things in mind.
Mhm.
And I even think that like most of even the atheist technology is also technically Mithraic. It's like, there's a lot of
Mhm.
the stuff that comes from the Mithraic side, that the atheists kind of like took as their own. Like even Campion, right? Like Campion
Mm-hmm.
stole Mother. Mother was the ancient Mithraic technology. And then he reprogrammed her to become who she is. The other thing that I really liked in this season, like I just remembered, was like when Mother was talking about, like when Mother was talking about something. I just totally lost train of thought. It was something about like Mother, like when she was describing her maker. Oh, when she was describing her maker to the other AI, and she was like, "How can the same mind have made us? We're so different." Before she shut it down, like it was also something really interesting to me, because that's kind of like our technology. Like
Yeah.
there's humans that are making certain technology that can be used for very, very bad things, but humans are also making great technology that can be used for really good things. And we are the same mind, but we're working in complete opposites. And I think that was really interesting too.
Hmm.
um really just really good, cool themes in this show. um yeah, so like she takes the freaking seed. uh and I really liked her. I felt bad. Then she starts like digging into the ground and she goes crazy, and then all of a sudden the next thing we see is this tree, and it's poor poor Sue. I mean, you like immediately know that she's basically dead.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, the other thing we haven't really spoken about is the lizard creature, which we saw last season. It went, it was kind of crazy to me how easy it was to capture it. Uh, and then they the scene where it was like below the, like in the caves or whatever, like they were keeping it in the caves. It kind of
Mhm.
reminded me of Game of Thrones when Daenerys had like that
Oh,
her dragon like
Oh,
locked
dra
away.
yeah.
yeah, in a dungeon. Hmm.
And then like Tyrion would go and like visit it once in a while. I was like, this is like straight up out of Game of Thrones. Like what's happening? Um but
Well, they thought was it? They thought it was killing people or something?
yeah,
Or they
Yeah,
thought it
the
had
dragons
to
were out of control. Yeah.
yeah, because it ate like farmers' kids or something like that. Um Where is it?
Yeah,
What
that
did
was
you
in
guys
the
think of
TV
the
show.
snake creature, quote unquote, being a herbivore, and like how the mother was like, "Oh, it's not hurting anybody. It's like a herbivore." Did you guys believe that? I was like, "Kill that thing."
I did
I don't
believe
know.
that for a
Could have been. I
second.
mean, we had some dinosaurs that were herbivores, so
I think it
Did
was just because it was her child, it
mm-hmm.
probably chose not to eat humans or whatever, but I don't
Mm.
think that it was, like, inherently a herbivore.
Oh, I don't think it was inherently a herbivore either, because of what we saw last season. It wanted blood. Like it was like a not
Well,
that
that's
is
what exactly, she tried to feed it blood to see if that's what it wanted this time, and it
A
didn't.
and it didn't. But I think things change, because sometimes babies, they they change their mind once they actually taste something. It's like, or like even animals, right? Like, for example, like dogs, right? Like whenever if a dog tastes blood, you're supposed to put it down. Like that's like a thing that they say because they become wild and they think that it's a good thing
Mm.
to eat. And it's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. But I didn't believe it for a second that this freaking creature was a herbivore. I was like, this thing's gonna snap any minute and kill everybody over here. I mean, I thought for a while that it was gonna kill the entire colony, but that didn't happen.
No.
Um,
Well, yeah, anything that big and powerful, even if it was quote unquote harmless, it would like accidentally kill everybody.
yeah, accidentally.
Especially a
Like I'm
child.
just flying around being a snake thing, and oops, my tail just knocked everyone out and killed them. Whole village.
Right. Except in this case, this freaking thing can like probably shoot lasers out of its face and shit too.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
powers or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it has mother's powers. That's right. It's got those like vibes. Oh, finally I found a track down. Here's the AI.
Okay.
The AI that's the ship's AI of the atheists. And I think we're gonna see something probably maybe close to this. I don't know. When the time comes to see Soul, maybe not quite. It might be more humanoid than this. I don't know. I do think about that other scene too that Mother saw in the first season with all of those things like kind of like praying to that hexagon thing, and there was like a creature inside the hexagon. I'm still wondering like what that was about. There's definitely still some things that they haven't really covered in this season, even though we did definitely get some answers, but we haven't gotten all the answers. But so we found out that this creature, clearly when they were alive, they needed to feed off those trees. Like that was their food. And I think that I think all of this is by design, meaning like I think these are all creatures that were designed by humans. Like these are the things that it's I don't know if it's organic. Like that's one of the things. I don't know if it's created by God or if it's evolutionary, like this snake or this tree, because the tree is clearly not evolutionary. The tree is
Something.
technology. But I don't know if the snake was evolutionary and then it ended up becoming technology. Teresa, what do you think of that?
What, the fact that the tree is technology and not
Yeah.
supernatural?
And or like, do you think do you think it's technology, or do you think it's do you think like back in the day, like in their planet, that it was organic once, like it was organic once?
Yeah, it's very possible, because when you have something like a tree, that is definitely something that is a part of the earth, that is something that is natural. But on the other hand, the crap that it does with it, that maybe it somehow evolved together. I honestly don't know. I feel like they've created this mythos, and it's almost as far back as many of our creation myths. And I feel like I'm just not being given enough information to see this. It's mysterious enough, but that fits in with the story that we don't know.
I'm
That's
beginning
right.
to believe that all of these things are technology that humans created, and I like the idea that humans have since evolved, and just
Jane, me
these
too.
things they've
Nice.
made have survived them.
Did you guys expect the little girl robot to die the way that she did?
No, that was shocking.
That was shocking to me. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
like
that was
literally like 2 seconds, like bye. I was like, damn.
Like all that, and all they had to do was wait.
It was so funny too, because it was like, thank you for like, purchasing this robot. It's going to become radioactive now. Please get rid of it at one of our centers. And I was like, damn, like that's an interesting, like, again, a little tidbit about what was going on Earth, because that's an
Mhm.
Earth android, and the technology that we had on Earth and what was going on there. Man, that is my nightmare Earth.
Really?
Yeah, man, this world that they've created is definitely my nightmare Earth. I hate AI.
Yeah.
Well,
They
get
are
ready because
Ever
we're gonna
since I
make
saw the
humanoid
Terminator,
AI.
they're freaking awful.
they're going to take over humanity and set off all the nuclear bombs, and we're all going to die.
Well,
Uh
that's one version of them.
well, Jane, you're a special kind of AI. You're nice. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about grandmother.
Grandmother.
Grandmother,
I
very
hate that
interesting
they
character.
asked this person, but whatever.
You hate what?
The casting was ridiculous.
You didn't like it?
No, because they made like she doesn't look like an android.
Oh.
I liked it. I liked it when she had her mask on. I know that sounds really weird.
You mean the little veil, or
Yeah, the little veil.
It made
The
her
veil
Like
thing?
I
skinnier.
don't think they should have gotten rid of the veil. But then again, it was a plot point.
yeah,
I think it was, but I think the veil was interesting because it made it look more like mystique and androidish, and like it just looked a lot cooler versus like later on when she takes off the thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a plot point though. She gave it to Mother so that Mother can suppress her emotions, because she had
Mhm.
emotions towards her caregiving emotions, or
Mhm.
well, she likes to call it programs, but they were clearly emotions. But her caregiver program was having problems and couldn't quite reach her like the most lethal self of hers, because she considered number 7, which aka the snake, her child, and didn't want to kill it. So grandmother was like, why don't you take my veil, and it'll kind of make it so that you don't feel those things anymore, and then you can take care of business. And she was like, okay, sure. So she
Mhm.
does it. And then as she's doing it though, like after she gets rid of the snake, because she does kill it, what she was like, uh it turned out though that it was basically a trap, right? Like that grandmother had set a trap. This part was interesting to me, that they showed the kids what was going on the chip.
Mhm.
And
That was
they see
wild.
that they finally saw what exactly happened with the thing, and how the humans were turning into the trees. This was a
Mhm.
sacrificial thing, because again, like we saw these creatures, like, look,
Mhm.
these are the same things that were happening in the last episode of the first season, where we saw it with that hexagon creature and Mother's vision before she gave birth. And they were like, they were all kind of like surrounding that thing, so there's clearly these creatures, like whoever they were. I'm not going to call them human, because I don't think they were human. But the creatures from this planet were doing things like this that was
Yeah.
really, really fucked up. Like they were doing really fucked up things. And I think it just turned on them, uh, as things always do. So then what happened here? Yeah, there's Mother getting that veil.
When it
She kills the
locked her in,
creature.
like that was really intense.
Yes. The little girl finds another one of these things. It looks different. I wonder if there's a seed in this one, or if it was like, I wonder if these are just seed houses, because this one looks different. This one has an eye on it.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't have a tree.
here's the problem I have with this child. She is not that young. Like they keep acting like she's a baby, and she's not anymore. She was when we started,
No, yeah,
but she's
no, yeah.
not anymore. She should have enough sense to
But
not do things like this.
but not that much time has passed, Jane. It's only been like 3 months. That's what we're talking about. Because
Yeah. But
well,
they
no, actually now more
No.
time has passed. It's been like a year almost, because she had the baby now. the other lady, the other girl. What's her face?
But just over
Uh,
time, I feel like they've kept her a baby longer than they should have.
that's interesting because,
Hmm.
well, I think like Asians don't age that much, so you can't really tell. So she just kind of like still has that baby look to her.
Yeah, but she's older, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's older, but like I think but she is kind of arrested in development no though, because it's like, what is she really learning? Like she's not really learning anything.
But
And
see,
this planet is fucked up.
that's the thing that I find unbelievable because you're in a it's not normal since like it's not like she grew up in a suburb. She grew up in a world in which you have to grow up fast in
Mm-hmm.
order to survive. You have to be intelligent. You have to know your environment. You have to be able to stay with the group. Like these are skills she would have been taught.
No. She was taught those things by mother and father, and not for very long, because she was growing up on a Mithraic ship and like stasis for like most of her life.
Oh,
She was like, when she got taken by mother, that's when her life
that's true. That's
changed.
true. That's true. That's true.
So I
Yeah.
think that like in that sense, I think that, and it's understandable. And I think that was the other part of this that was interesting to me in terms of between season 1 and season 2, is that mother, as Campion's like the Campion Sturgeon's creator, was more loving and more understanding of what true atheist knowledge was, because she was teaching them all about philosophy and like, what Mithraic, uh like what it was all about. Like she was teaching them about the different things that humans were teaching, and what Campion wanted her to teach the
Mhm.
children, right? Whereas in the atheist AI wasn't teaching the humans anything. Like it was, and she was like, well, what the fuck is going on with like that's what she said when she went into like one of the episodes. So she was like, what is going on with the minds of this colony? Because like where are all the intelligent humans with like the where are all the philosophers and like this and that? And even she started questioning their development, because they weren't developing. They were actually kind of like de-evolving because of how much that machine was butting into their existence. And it was, and I thought that was really interesting.
Hmm.
I'm just sorry, I was trying to read the chat. But yeah, so like then mother was all, or not mother, grandmother, there she is.
Yeah.
Clearly
Let's also
a
talk,
villain. Clearly.
clearly a villain. Let's talk about the fact that like how she was made, though, father creating her the way that he did.
Yeah.
So here's another parental thing, right? So this time we're talking about father, because mother had the snake, created her through, or created the snake through, getting raped in that weird virtual sim situation by, we're presuming, Soul. This one is different. So he finds a bunch of like, just bones and stuff like that kind of like look like bones, but they kind of look like seashells in a way, though, because they were like really I don't know, just archaic, I guess.
Yeah.
So he finds them, kind of like puts them together, and then I don't remember exactly how, though, he realized that his blood is growing it. Did he like cut himself? Like I don't remember what happened. Yeah, coral, exactly, that's what I was thinking of.
I don't know.
I don't remember exactly what
remember
happened.
that.
But he realized that his blood was making her grow. So she was like, okay, I gotta go get a bunch of like android blood
Mhm.
and
Infused. Transfusion.
yeah,
rather.
and do this. So he does, like, through the different means or whatever. He makes a deal with Sue, and he like, he gets his hands on the android blood, and he like, pours it all over the creature, and then it becomes a whole again, like slowly, and it becomes an android. And then they have to, like, at first they have to hook it up to like the main central system, which again I had a little bit of a problem with, because mother had already turned that other AI off. So I was like, how many AIs do they have? Because they have one for the colony that's kind of like secondary AI that's that's taking their like, kind of like running the systems, the colony, their lights were still on even after, like, for example, when she shut down the main I thought their lights and stuff were going to go out now, and like that they were going to have to start fending for themselves like they were at the beginning of the series in season 1, but clearly they had like some sort of backup power, and even like the little floating medical assistant thing was still functional.
Yeah.
So clearly, like the main atheist AI was different than whatever was running the ship, and the I'm guessing it was like the auxiliary power and auxiliary AI and whatever else. But like she was so different, obviously, because she's from another time and another this is ancient Mithraic. I'm guessing this is ancient Mithraic technology as well. That's why she's so close to Mother in her design and in everything. I think that maybe Soul is going to be like her male counterpart. I don't know.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I think it might be interesting. That Soul is like, because she's grandmother. I think maybe Soul would be grandfather. Yeah. So and when she like kind of like went to rescue Campion, which I don't think she was rescuing him, by the way. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. When he saw what he thought was Soul, as like the bright creature, and then he realized later when he saw her that it was her that he saw. That I don't think that's actually Soul. I think it was her that she saw, because I think Soul is still trapped, like wherever he is, like probably underneath the earth in the other pole. But I think I don't know. This character was interesting though. I'm not sure if she's fully evil though, Jane. Do you think she's like totally evil?
I don't trust her at all. I do not. And Mother's reaction, I think, was justified.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Well, I mean, she definitely tricked her. She tricked her big time. And she's playing father. And,
like
and
a violin.
and father is falling for it, because I feel like his fatherly instincts are kicking in, because he thinks like he created her, like he put her together. So he's having this kind of like weird, I don't know, like parental feelings for her. Like he's like, oh, okay, like, I created her, I helped create her again. So I think he's being blinded by her right now.
That similar bond that Mother had to the snake that he's going to have to break.
Exactly. So then we had this part where Mother finally kind of figures out what the hell is going on. And meanwhile, she's kind of like taking this video game thing apart, trying to manipulate the children. And then she installed a new game for them, which I thought was really interesting, because the game, again, is so different than the games they had. This seems like a much more intellectual game. This is a very like ancient society. It shows, they have games with like solar systems, like we're talking expansion here too now, right? Like you gotta understand that these are probably spacefaring creatures. I'm guessing. I don't know if they're gonna go that far with it, but they might be.
I wonder if it's a form of mind control, though. Once they sort of lock themselves in, how is it manipulating them from there?
That's very interesting.
She mentioned the baby playing already.
The baby started playing with it too. That was weird. That was weird.
Something's going on.
I think because Mother kept running away from and he needs companionship. That's also true.
Point.
That's also a really good. That's also a really good point, because they were getting more distant from each other. That's a creepy look right there. I liked her acting though. She did definitely play the part.
She's great.
She's creepy.
Being utterly creepy.
Yeah.
While saying very pleasant things.
Yeah. Yeah. And with very soothing voice like Jane's. I was
Once
like, oh my
again,
gosh, Jane.
quit revealing her secret, Nina.
It's like, Jane, did you star in this? Like, damn.
The AI have begun.
The truth has come
Oh
out.
no, I'm
It's
so creeped out.
Yeah.
If
Oh, here
this
we
show
go.
gets canceled, I'm gonna cry. I'm not even joking. Here. So then he decides to go back down there. I forget why, but he did. Okay, wait. What happened here? Oh yeah, this dude.
Oh,
God, this freaking zealot too. Okay. Hang on. I gotta get to the scene where what was happening here?
Marcus just never gets killed.
Nah.
Like multiple
You
times.
think he is dead now though? I don't know.
I don't think so.
He might be. You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
He might
I think he
be.
has a role in the end game, whatever that is.
Wait, what happened in this part? I forgot. Forgot about this. Oh my god. Okay, there it is. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. It's been a few days and I've already forgotten what's going on. This is how much my brain's working.
It's okay, I wouldn't know my own name if it wasn't right before me.
So this is what happens here. So they're talking about mother is seeing this.
Yeah.
Mother is starting to figure some shit out, and she's like, "Uh-oh, this freaking creature sounds like they're full of shit."
Mm-hmm. The webbing.
Yep, the webbing and everything like that. And then, wait, do you want to explain this part, Jane, a little bit
Which
for the
one?
audience? This part, like, what is she witnessing?
Is this about the baby?
Yeah, by the baby.
Oh, so the baby was born with, or at least by the time they got it back, it had genetic modifications to it, or genetic evolution, or devolution, however you want to look at it. But it had webbed fingers, and the children believe that it was because it had suckled from the monster, and maybe the whatever the fluid was had manipulated its genetics. But it actually was unclear to me whether grandmother was actually the one who had done something to the baby to cause the genetic mutation, or whether she was responsible for the monster getting the baby and causing the mutation. But either way, mother blames her for what was happening to the child, and some other examples that she came across that showed that grandmother's motivation here was to devolve the humans back to
That's
what they were. And she acknowledged that that was in fact her plan.
Yeah, because we
exactly. And I also at first thought that it was the baby suckling on that thing that made the webbing. But then I remembered that the moment that other creature woke up, it turned into, one of those fucking weird creatures. And I was like, there's something going around that like is de-evolving these creatures. But then again, this is a human baby, so it was a little bit different.
The scaling on one of the kids too, that was evidence of this genetic mutation that's happening with the kids.
That's right. And then all of a sudden, the veil kicks in.
Yes.
And just starts to just take over mother and just completely cocoons her. Very similar to what happened to Paul earlier with the weird disease.
Yeah, this was friggin' wild. It was like she got into a putty ball.
Yeah.
That was freaky.
That was weird. And
her acting,
she's great, man. All of these guys are so good. So good. And so then you see this. Oh wait, what the fuck? This thing is frozen. Hold on.
And that conversation with grandmother, like that was
that's what I was trying to go into now.
And to me, that was the difference between this and just good quality television and writing of strong women and what you get in Halo. Because
But I
Oh,
haven't even seen that shit.
they try to have those power moments between women, and there's no comparison. Like,
Nope.
it's just shallow
Yeah, but
compared
this is
to
what you get with Ridley Scott too. You got to
Yeah.
understand this is some high quality. There is some high quality people working on this show, whereas I don't know who the is working on Halo. But
Yeah.
it's definitely not Ridley Scott. I mean, love him or hate him, Ridley Scott did create some of the most amazing sci-fi worlds of our time. Like Alien
Oh, yeah.
is by far, hands down, a force in sci-fi. And I don't like, I mean, I hated Prometheus, but I think that this is what Prometheus should have been. And I think he understands that. And that's why he's creating this show. Like I hated Prometheus for what it was and how it was dealing with like the alien in that world, but I think it makes way more sense in this storyline and in what he's created here.
Yeah. He's
So
a
this is
genius,
the
and they
scene.
don't make him like him anymore. And I just fear that
Yeah.
there's no one taking his place, like when he passes
Mhm.
on, as that generation of genius is
Ugh.
passing us by.
And I love how when every scene in this show, like, you could print this.
Yeah.
It's art.
Dude, the cinematography in this show is next level, man. Especially the first season. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, the first 2 episodes, I was completely blown away. I was like, this is Ridley Scott at his best, and he hasn't been at his best for a long time. And it was the first 2 episodes were absolutely magnificent. Dude, when Mother got her eyes back, I was literally cheering. I was
I
like,
know.
let's fucking go. Like, like I was like, let's freaking go, Mother.
Let's go and blow people to pieces with
Yeah,
your
let's go
voice.
fucking blow some bitches up.
Go flying.
God, and like I remember even when, like in the first season though, when like that scene where she finally like puts her eyes in and she goes to the ship and she starts blowing everybody up. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, like holy shit, what is happening in this show? It's so different than everything that we have out nowadays. Most stuff is very PG nowadays too. And this is hard R. Like it's like, people blowing up, like, there's all sorts of great violence. I mean, there's not much sex, but a lot of great violence. So this was
Yeah.
the scene here. She splits the veil, standing over Mother. Again, really cool shots. She's standing over Mother, kind of like, telling her what's going on. Look at that smile. So creepy. I love it. Love the feel.
Oh my
Meanwhile,
God.
she's fucking terrified. And again, that's saying something
Yeah.
because Mother being terrified is
That's
it's
something that's
interesting.
actually terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about an incredibly powerful weapon, like something out of worldly, right? Like we're
Yeah.
talking about a weapon that is fearing something greater than her and is now just in complete and utter shock. And I think that that's really powerful. I really like this scene.
But I love that she was still like, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh yeah, she's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. Like you fuck with the wrong person or android in this
I
case.
love that.
A lot of cool shots like this again. Look at that. Really cool stuff here. And then she sends her to the sim world.
Yeah, like the Matrix.
Like the Matrix, where
gosh.
she's like,
Oh
let
my
me
goodness.
out, let me out. And she's not. But what's interesting to me now, though, is guess who can reach her in here? Soul.
Oh,
Well, guess who
'Cause that
she can reach from in there?
Yeah, because that's the only thing. That's the only place that she's had contact with Soul, right? Has been
Yeah.
in a sim. So now,
Oh.
next season, I feel like that's where we're headed. Probably she's
Yeah.
gonna probably meet Soul again. And
And take over.
possibly
I
we'll see
think
what happens.
grandmother just made a huge mistake.
I think so too. I don't think grandmother knows what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
I think AI Campion will enter the virtual prison to save her. Oh. AI Campion? AI Campion. You mean like I don't know. Wasn't AI Campion like Soul though? I feel like AI Campion was fake.
Oh
Yeah, I
my.
didn't think it was real.
He was the rapist, dude.
I think this
That's
is about
Soul.
to be Mother taking over, killing whatever it is Soul is.
And
Hmm.
taking Soul's place. And holy crap, imagine what she'll do then.
I don't know
We're
if that's
so
the case
screwed.
though, because if we're supposed to get 5 seasons, I don't know. I feel like season 3 might be too soon for her to face Soul. They still have to find it. Um he wasn't the rapist, but he was though. The like the ones that she's seen was Soul pretending to be Campion AI and then raped her, and then but the ones that is her memory are the real ones, but those aren't AI, those are just memories. So, and I don't think she's actually interacted with like Campion. I think I don't think he's there. I think it's just her memories of him. The thing that impregnated her is Soul is AI Campion. Yeah, but I think AI Campion is Soul. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So then grandmother, you're in for it though. So then grandmother is trying to like help everybody out here, pretend to be a good person, and she's not. She's a total bitch. Then we
Gonna freeze to
see.
death.
Oh yeah, and it's starting to snow. That's the other thing. It's the southern hemisphere, but it's starting to snow, and they're like, wait, what? Because they've never faced this kind of thing before. Mind you, the other humans have faced a lot of hardship, so that they'll know how to survive more than these guys do, like the children. And then this is where we see this dude. He's creating the sun thing again, and he's hung Marcus by the tree. Is this Sue's tree or is this just a tree? No, Sue's tree got eaten. Never mind. She dead. She gone. Wait.
Or is she?
Is this thing that creature? Like the snake? No. That's just the tree.
I don't see water. Is it near the water?
No.
I don't
They're on a cliff. Well, the water's here.
Could be. That could be.
I think it might be. I think this is the snake.
That's a skeleton, yeah.
Like the one that got taken down by Mother. Okay, here it is. That was the last scene.
And so that's why they were saying it's supernatural, because he's floating like that. Like,
right.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah,
I
there he's
don't
doing
know.
the St. Peter thing there.
Another cross reference.
Yeah, upside.
It also could be some sort of genetic manipulation.
It could also be genetic manipulation. It could be that
nanobites.
Well, the what's it called? The things are changing too. The atmosphere is changing, so that something could be happening in I don't know, the atmosphere or something. I have no idea what this thing though. Like actually, maybe it's not the.
I think that's it. That's a snake.
Is it the creature?
Yeah, I think where it died.
Yeah, maybe because this is Sue's tree. It's just like the dead Sue's tree.
Yeah,
like because
so maybe the spirit went into that. But I mean, I honestly don't believe there's anything truly supernatural in this. I think that there's a natural explanation for everything in this story. So
I do too. I think the supernatural is AI. I think that that's what's been going on, because don't forget in the first season too, and I don't know, maybe this is one of those things where they don't know quite what they're doing, and maybe like it's either they know what they're doing and it's like all leading to something, or they don't know what they're doing and it's like, let's kind of like Lost style, like let's grab from whatever we can. Because in the first season, we saw several things. One, we saw ghosts, quote unquote, like we saw Campion's sister, the one that fell down, and he wasn't the only person that was seeing her. The little Chinese girl was seeing her too. So like there's certain things that are definitely more otherworldly, but you could also say those could be a powerful AI could create illusions. They could create, they could create like any sort of, kind of like the burning bush, like what we're talking about, right? Like it's like you can create that kind of thing using technology. So I think that that's also something that could be leading to all of this being some form of like extremely advanced technology that we don't know. Or it could be supernatural. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it.
It's a mystery.
And if we do accept like what Berserker is suggesting, that Soul created this, he may be manipulating the entire environment, then that would allow him to have people floating or have snakes floating or all these things that would appear supernatural, but he's just manipulating the magnetic field, like he said, or a number of other things.
Yeah, and I mean the original space creatures were ground, right? The only reason that it's not anymore is because it was Mother's child, and Mother could fly, so it uses whatever it was inside Mother's anatomy or whatever to be able to do that. I'm just reading some of the comments here. The core is soul entity.
Is the planet Soul? Is the whole thing alive?
Well, and in a way, what you're saying about the connection to Mother, if I hear you correctly, if there's a connection, he's like a mirror image of her, because when Mother's going around, she's right side up flying around, and he's the upside down.
Interesting, Teresa. I love that. I was wondering about that too, because I thought that would signify something. Is Tally the little Chinese girl? Oh, Tally was the Tally was she was also Asian, but she's the sister of Campion, the one that died. But you're saying Tally is an android, but she wasn't an android when they made her. She was real until she died. Like by real, I mean like organic.
Gee whiz,
what is real? How do you define real? Like,
my brain exploded.
So Vita is the one that everyone's saying we should listen to. I don't know what's going to happen with this child, but she needs to stop running off.
Yes.
That's what I understand. Just watch the child.
Which one? Which child are you talking about? The one
Vita,
that's running off?
the little Asian girl.
Oh, yeah. Well, she didn't run off that much this season. She was pretty good. She was playing video games for a while.
Her last little excursion is going to be a problem.
Her last little excursion?
Excursion.
Where'd she go? Excursion? Where'd she go?
She found the little thing.
Oh, yeah. She found the little thing, but they took it away from her.
Yeah, but
Mother and them took it away from her.
But she's done.
No, it's not. She didn't open it.
I think she was manipulated to get it in the first place.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, so was Paul, like, because Paul was also manipulated to find it.
He is too, yeah.
Like Paul, I feel bad for Paul, man. He like basically killed his own mom, kind of. Well, that mom wasn't really his mom though.
Paul,
this is so confusing.
Become his mom.
He's destined to be a villain, I think.
Paul?
Mm-hmm.
I agree to that. I think that it's good. I think that the ultimate villains of the show, other than Mother and Soul, obviously, it's going to be a showdown between Paul and Campion. I
Yeah.
think that's what it's being built up to. They absolutely are. The actors in this
They're
show are
amazing.
freaking awesome. That is also true. Mouse fell down the hole and got remade. It's true. And the new mouse that he got, like this, dude, mice, they don't survive like shit like this. Okay, they freaking die. So I feel like this AI creature or whatever it is, like knows how to reanimate creatures. That's what I think. I think it knows what the F is going on.
Yeah.
At least small creatures like mouse, because it's definitely reanimated it several times. Like it's not even once that it's done. It's been like a several times kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll find out. Campion Sturgis was manipulated by Soul. Do you mean like on Earth? Like to create Mother the way he did? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you think Berserker thinks grandmother wants to devolve the humans to save them? Well, see, that's the other thing too with AI is that they can be incredibly destructive with the purpose of saving you.
Yeah, they're efficient. They're like, well, this
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Well, let's try devolving them, and then we'll solve the problem.
Well, it's just like in the 100, right? Like when they're like, oh, like the AI is like, oh, we need to get we need to make the Earth healthy. Let's get rid of it. Let's make that happen by getting rid of the cancer that's on it, which is human beings.
Yeah.
So like I think that they're probably gonna go in that kind of direction too with the previous hosts of the planet.
There's logic there.
I think that's probably what happened. We're doing this to be good to you, humans. No, you fucking dead.
You'll be better as molecules.
No pain, no gain.
He says sorry when Mother snaps the android's baby's neck. It's not real to her. That's also true. So it's Soul. Love these theories, guys. Okay, let's talk about theories. Speaking of theories, theorizing that season 3 is going to get made. Hopefully, it's going to be renewed. What do you think is going to happen in season 3? Give us, Jane. Give us your predictions for season 3.
Yeah, I'm not. It's so hard to tell with the show, but I have a feeling that Soul is going to be destroyed or taken over by Mother.
Wow,
and
so
I
soon.
think I do, because I think what's going to happen is that she's going to become it. I don't know, maybe they merge somehow.
Ooh,
And
that's
she
sexy.
becomes this. She's already an incredibly powerful entity that's threatening to things that threaten her children. But what if she becomes the threat somehow? And
Interesting.
they
Well, she is
ultimately
already a
kill her.
weapon.
Yeah. So I think things are just going to flip around. Everything we've known to this point is going to flip at the 3rd season.
Mother caregiver to be limited to the children. Yeah, well, that's why because that's why I want. That is why she could not kill 7. That's true. What is Teresa? What about you? What are your feelings for season 3?
Well, tag teaming along with what Jane said, I think that there will be a takeover of Saul, or moving towards a takeover of Saul, but it will have something to do with Marcus, because what I said about how he was the inversion of Mother when he was flying off, that he's like going to go into some sort of AI, whatever world, that something happened technologically with him, and he's like yang to the yang of Mother, and that they're actually going to connect.
Interesting. I see. This is what confused me, because I did not expect the snake creature to die this soon, like in this season. Like I was, because it was such a huge deal for last season, and like the birth of it and like everything was just so crucial, that I did not think they were going to kill it like by the 8th episode. Like I was thinking that it was going to survive and that it had some sort of purpose. Because other than like right now, what was its purpose? Like it really didn't have one. You know what I'm saying? We figured out the tree thing. It ate the tree. It became even more powerful, and then it died. So I don't really like right now. I don't understand what the purpose of the snake was, like other than to understand that like
Yeah.
mother could get pregnant and mother could, give birth to a creature that's not humanoid. So like other than that, I'm not really sure what the purpose of the snake creature was. So far. I'm a little confused about it. And as we've been talking about it, it just it brings up more questions for me because I'm like, I don't know if you're right, Angelique, about how Soul did want her killing the 7. I don't know if that's true. I don't think Soul is planning half this shit either. I think he's just playing it by ear and seeing what takes. That's why I think that it like there's certain things that he's doing. That's why it makes no sense. It's like, let me do all these different things and see which one takes. That's why I'm like, okay, so clearly we know that he's been manipulating people even on Earth. Like that's why like when they went onto the ship, like that dude started graping the people in sleep, being manipulated by Soul. So we know his reach is far. It's not even like, okay, that like his reach is just, like contained within that planet or anything. Like he's very powerful. Like whatever he is, he's very, very powerful. So
So
I
it
think
is
that it's go
it
ahead,
is
Jen.
kind of then like with the Prometheus was it Prometheus where
Mm,
the AI was doing experimentations on the humans on the
yes.
ship
Yeah.
just to see what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not necessarily even had a point, but just to see, okay, if I do this, then what comes of it? Okay, now we have this new creature. What can I do with it?
Yes, exactly. Like making different pawns. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying like I don't even think Soul has quite like I don't know if we're going to get like an exact purpose from Soul. Like he could just be a fucking like weird AI that's just like fucking around. Like we don't know. That's why like okay, so he's doing the graping and then he's like planting a seed in Mother and then he's doing like this other thing like with Paul and like whoever else. Like so there's so many things that Soul is doing right now. And then the thing with Marcus like oh, let me lead this guy and see where he gets, and then let me do this and see what this what this gets me. I just think it's somewhat calculated, but it's also like let me take a chance and see where this gets me doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't know if he can quite like he's powerful, but he's not all seeing. I don't know if
Maybe he's trying to
that makes
create
sense.
something. If we go with the Prometheus theme, maybe
Mhm.
he's trying to be a creator himself and he's just trying to see what works.
Hmm. I think so. I think you're right, Jane. It's either that or he's like the destroyer of worlds. I don't know. Hmm. Very, very interesting. Okay, let me see. My theories for next season. I don't think Marcus is dead. I think Marcus he's gonna be back for
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely.
I think that Sue's gone. Bye, Sue. R.I.P. Sue. But I think we might see her in different visions and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if like we got like dreams or dream sequences or anything like that from her. I don't know if I agree with you, Jane, that Mother is going to be taken over, like going to take Soul over just now. I think it might happen at some point, but I don't know if it'll happen in season 3. I think that I think Soul is going to be interacting with her in the sim though.
Hmm.
Because I think that's one of the only ways that he has to contact her, first of all. But also now he knows that grandmother is awake as well. So he's going to want to, I don't know, make contact with possibly even grandmother, because I don't know if I don't know if they're in touch. Like, I don't know if that is going to happen. So maybe we're going to see more of that, of like how grandmother and soul finally get in touch. Because grandmother is just like just waking up, like
Yeah.
she's just like figuring out, oh, okay, like I'm here and there's a bunch of humans, like 200 humans. Like that was one of the other funny scenes where she was asking like father, she was like, how many humans are here? And he was like 200 humans. And I was like, oh bro, like you shouldn't have told her. Like I feel like it's like, okay, so how many do I have to kill now, please?
Like she's immediately back to business.
Yeah, like I was like, dude, that was scary. Where is grandfather? Yeah, I think Soul is grandfather. I think Soul's gonna be granddad. But is he though? That's the other thing, because I'm not sure if he's going to be quite like grandmother, because grandmother had a physique. Like grandmother was like, an entity that was built. Like it had a body, it has a body now. I don't know if Soul necessarily will have a body. That's what I'm saying. I think Soul might be like some sort of AI or
He may
a
have lost
cocoon.
it.
Yeah, maybe. Like I think maybe he's lost his body or something. I don't know. That's like, I don't know.
We're
We're
beyond
gonna,
it. I don't know.
yeah. I think he's beyond the body now, because that's what I'm saying. His reach is so wide. Like he was able to contact us on Earth, right? Like he's been manipulating like earthlings for a very long time. So I'm not sure if he's quite like, an entity, like a physical entity. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. John wants to know if the mushrooms are kicking in, Teresa.
I'm beyond mushrooms at this point. As I said, my brain is completely blowing apart. But I love it that everything that we've been talking about, it really is giving something to ponder. And I don't know, my mind maybe is being even more opened. This is the
But
dawning of the age of Aquarius.
isn't this what we've been asking for though? And isn't this what you ask for in entertainment? Entertain me, let me talk about it, like let me think about what I just saw, let me theorize about what I just saw, let me, you know what I'm saying? Like this is good this is good entertainment, guys. It's good entertainment. I fully like, it's got its problems. There's, it's not perfect, but it's not some woke garbage trash like Halo or like the MCU. Like you guys can watch this and you'll be, you'll have fun. At the very least, you'll be completely confused and, wonder if you're on mushrooms or if they're kicking in yet. So either way, you'll have some fun.
I would love to see them to actually, if this has happened before, to let the cycle play out. Everyone we know die. And then see
Ooh.
generations, like a fast forward to the future where everything is sort of starting all over and they're going through the exact same motions.
That's interesting, Jane, because that was one of the other things that happened in season 1 that we still haven't seen, and I expect to see this, because one of the things that, for example, we haven't seen yet was Paul's vision of the city that they create. And we haven't seen that yet. And I feel like that's coming. I feel like they're going to go there at some point. There's certain things that they haven't done yet. So I don't know. I think you're right though. I think there's certain things that we haven't seen and we're going to see. If it's good enough that they're gonna tie everything together. That's one of the things, right? Like it's like
everything come full circle. Yay.
Yeah.
I would love it.
That would be interesting though, Jane, because it'd be very Game of Thrones-esque if everybody dies. It would be like, pretty fucking dark. I mean, I don't mind
they
it
could save that for the very end. They could save it for the end.
Yeah, they could. And I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind it because this world is so freaking dark. Yeah. So I'm not really like, well, do we have to go that dark? Like, like, well, yeah, I mean, I could see it. I could see it being really fucked up.
Well, no
That
one
is
is
We
safe,
need a red
really.
wedding.
Really.
yeah. I mean, but that is the one thing that it's been consistent about as being fucked up. Like I'm telling you, that scene where that chick gives birth and then she's like it's freaking raw and she like pulls out the freaking like umbilical cord and like bites it off and she's like and then all of a sudden the freaking creature from the blue lagoon comes up from behind her and is like, give me your baby. I was like I was screaming, man. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? What is happening? So that is definitely something you can expect from season 3 is more holy fucking shit that just happened. That's I think that's one of the things. No, that would be a bad move for the show. I'm guessing like he means the Game of Thrones ask of everyone dying red wedding style.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I could see that. I could see that. I think I think there's a lot of story left to tell though. Like I said, it was designed to be 5 seasons and we're only at 2. So there's a lot of story left to be told.
I feel like it's gonna get crazier.
Oh, check out the extras for each episode. Say what? There's extras? I'd be interested in these.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
seen
They're
those.
pretty interesting.
Okay, Jane, have you seen the extras?
They get into some detail about the characters and the motivations and stuff like that. It's
Okay, I
really
have.
interesting. I usually don't like that stuff, but for this
So
show,
wait, is it like kind of like The Expanse when they were doing like those weird extra things?
they are extra like scenes, but they do talk about them.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna have to check that out. Thanks for telling me about that. I didn't watch that. Yeah, the flash forward and everyone's dad Boosh doesn't like that. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, it's
Well,
gonna be a flash forward to the future where we see the impact of everything they're doing. Like,
yeah.
I
Like
like time travel, so that's my
what
part.
is this for? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. Angelique says it's going to be longer, possibly 7. Well, I read like when I was doing my review for season 1, I read that the discussion between the gentleman who's making it, I forget his name again, Aaron Guzikowski and Ridley Scott was that the plan was for a 5 season series for HBO. That was their pitch.
They should leave it at like I don't think they should stretch it out. If it's a 5-season story, just make it the 5-season story.
Yeah, and again, see, this is what happened though. So it was an original plan was a 5 season thing, and I think that originally it was 5 seasons at 10 episodes each. COVID hits right after season 1. So then I think there was some changes made because they went from an 10 episode thing to an 8 episode thing. Campion grew way faster because they had to, they had to shoot later on.
Yeah.
Because there was like breaks and all sorts of stuff. So I think they did change some of the story because of that. Certain things like that. God was planned for 10, but this one is definitely 5.
Yeah.
And of course, Game of Thrones is based on books. So
I don't want them to go off the rails. That's all.
Yeah, I don't want. This show is already so off the rails. Like it's like I don't know
It's
how much
like
more it could go.
They
But
can get it to a point where when the shows don't make sense anymore, and it's just like exhausting just even watching it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's keeping my interest. It's holding me. I want to know what happens next, and I want a good quality ending, like what you talk about.
Yeah, I mean, same here, Jane, in the sense that, for example, right? Like, here is something that goes off the rails and never gets explained. Like, for example, Lost. When you had the smoky monster, and like, in the first season, you're like, oh, what is this smoky monster? It's so cool. Like, what is it doing? What is it killing? What's it made out of? Blah, blah, blah. You have all these questions. And then all of a sudden, it's like literally no payoff. You're like, what the fuck was that? Like, it never got explained whatsoever. Whereas in right now, now we've already gotten certain explanations, like for example about the snake creature, like what was it, where did it come from, blah blah blah, like like those things we've already have had explanations. Why does it fly? Like certain things have already been explained. Why do these creatures look the way they do and sound the way they do? Oh, because they're de-evolving from the time that they were alive and blah blah blah. Certain things have already been explained, and I don't mind that. Let's see like where it goes from here, and like you said, like whether things keep on track, or that they're just completely like got rid of, or it wasn't planned or whatever. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But Jane and Teresa, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I think this is a good place to stop, right? Like, do you guys have anything else you want to mention, comment on? Anything else?
No, I think we've covered it. We've covered it good. Like
Yeah,
I
I
said,
think
it's
we
giving me
covered it.
something to think about.
Definitely. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight in the chat. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please make sure you share it out into the internets and stuff like that. We want to make sure that at least, Raised by Wolves gets a lot of exposure in the next little while, so that HBO has reasons to renew it for a third season. So definitely make sure you're sharing it out, keep talking about it even online, like if you're on Twitter, or if you're on social media, share out this stream, share out your thoughts out into the ether. Make sure you're tagging HBO and telling them that you like the show and you want to see more about it, because that's what it's all about nowadays. It's like, if you want your show renewed, you got to put your voice out there and like let them know that you want that to happen. They do listen. So other than that, Jane, please tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, look at this. Great stream, guys. You kept me company during my night shift reporting, and Jane's voice is so soothing. I know.
Thank you.
I almost want to start calling her grandmother Jane from now on.
No.
Teresa, I'm just joking. Of course, I'm joking. Teresa, tell everyone where they can find you.
We can find me here on YouTube, Miss Martin Muses, doing some Silmarillion right now. I've gone through all of the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and now on Saturday mornings we're going to be delving into the Silmarillion for reasons, because I think it's going to be in the news a little bit over the next year or so.
Oh, yeah.
You can see me there, and also on Twitter, Teresa2_Martin.
That's awesome, Teresa. Nitrium says, good stream, but I think it is supernatural. I think there is an actual deity. It's always too weird to be pure sci-fi. And Nitrium, you know what? You might be completely correct. And that's actually the other aspect of it, right? Because let's not forget, again, this is a Ridley Scott creation. I would not doubt that this other entity could also be some form of alien that we have no idea about yet, because we've not been introduced to it, that maybe possibly came to this planet and did certain things and created the things that were on this planet to begin with, because there's so many themes of religion and life and what is life and certain things like that in this. And I can see that a deity could also play a part in this, but a deity may not necessarily think what we think it means, because, what is God, right? Like, God could be some form of alien creature, like the way that we would be to ants, right? Like, in a way, an ant would probably think we're its God, or, like some sort of animal or something like that. We're godly forces to them. So if a god or an entity is manipulating things as well, that could also play a role, and I could totally see that. So don't think I'm discounting the deity or supernaturalness of it either. I think that could also play a part as well.
I
and
can't
it's a
wait to
good
see.
theory. Yeah, I can't wait to see. I hope, I really, really, really hope that it's gonna get renewed. So yeah, let's see what
It
happens.
has to.
And if it doesn't get renewed, it was a great ride while it lasted. But hopefully it will be. But again, thank you guys all so very, very much. Thank you for joining us, and we will probably come back next week and talk to you about something else. I don't know what yet, but we will figure it out, and we'll let you know. Tomorrow you can find me on Midnight's Edge for Toxic Femininity. I think that's at 8 Eastern. So yeah, and then I'll be on the Real BBC on Tuesday, and then on my channel again on Wednesday. I think I'm doing it on my Wednesday. I don't know. Something's happening Wednesday. Probably Infinite Talk with John Talks. So definitely keep an eye on either this space or my Twitter account, where I will be announcing where I will be. Massive thank you to anyone that sent this super chat, memberships, all that good stuff. You guys are awesome, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.